if you're deciding to take this, be aware that that's not it. Today we're going to review INPRE Max by Impel Nutrition. There it is. We're going to go over the ingredients so you know what you're putting in your body, and we'll go over the effects on this bad boy. If you like stuff like that, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to come out every other day with product reviews for you guys. Now, this company, of course, is a Florida-based company, so they have DeSantis right there on the bottle. That's why it says, taste the freedom. And this is a DeSantis sauce. And just so you know, it's like an orange flavor. It's not too orangey. It doesn't hit you with a strong orange hit, but it's kind of a toned down orange flavor that masks all the ingredients. This is a good flavor. You're going to be fine with it. So getting into the ingredient profile, I'll put it right in front of me. We have one scoop that's supposed to be 8 grams at 20 servings, and one packed flat level scoop is right on 8 grams. I mean, it's right on. Then on the top of the label here, we have some potassium from nitrogen at 60 milligrams. This is going to help with the sodium potassium pump to help deliver amino acids into the muscles. It also helps with hydration and also helps with contractional capability. Then choline from alpha GPC and CDP choline at 97 milligrams. This turns into the neurotransmitter acetylcholine in the body for cognitive function, focus, and energy. Then we have L-tyrosine at 2 grams. This is going to convert into L-dopa. Then it's going to convert into dopamine, norepinephrine, and then into epinephrine for cognitive function and focus. This also assists in the function of the thyroid by assisting in producing T3 and T4 hormones. Then we have nitrogen at 1,500 milligrams. This is an arginine and silicate combination. The arginine is, of course, going to dilate the blood vessels because it's going to raise enos in the body, and the silicate actually helps with the flexibility and the strength of the blood vessels for healthy blood flow. So a very good ingredient. Then we have pine bark extract at 500 milligrams, one of my favorite ingredients. So this maintains the levels of reduced glutathione, which play a role in cellular control of ROS, which is reactive oxidative species. We do not want this to go too high. We do not want this to go too low. We want it to be evened out. So it does a really good job out throughout the body and the brain, and also helps with vasodilation because it has water-soluble polyphenols and bioflavonoids, catechins, taxfolins, and phenylcarbonic acids, which all help with the increase of enos, which is going to help with vasodilation and pumps. Then we have a high-energy cellular caffeine matrix. Caffeine anhydrous at 300 milligrams and caffeine citrate at 100 milligrams, which is going to be, caffeine is going to be 50% of that, which is going to be 50 milligrams of caffeine. So we have a total of 350 milligrams of caffeine in this thing. Caffeine is a adenosine blocker. It's supposed to help with wakenness. It also helps with brain function as well because it blocks the adenosine receptors in the heart and the brain for an adrenaline kick, for energy production, taxing the central nervous system. Then we have alpha GPC at 300 milligrams. Great ingredient. A lot of people like this ingredient over a lot of the other choline sources because it's able to cross the blood-brain barrier real easy. And this is a choline source that increases neuron signaling for alertness, clarity, memory, and also the development of brain cells. It also helps with the development of cell membranes in the cerebral cortex, which are involved with controlling personality, motor function, intelligence, planning, and touch. Great ingredient. Then we have Rodeo Prime at 250 milligrams. So this is a yin and yang to ashwagandha. So ashwagandha is a downer adaptogen. It kind of dials you down, and rhodiola is an upper adaptogen. And this has some really good benefits as far as it's a Mayo inhibitor, so it's going to help keep the cognitive function and focus alive for a little bit longer period of time, and also helps with stress plus energy production in the gym. Then we have CDP choline at 200 milligrams. This is an interesting ingredient. This enters the brain and it separates into 2 different parts, basically. It separates into choline and cytidine, if I'm saying that right. Then the cytidine is a component of cellular RNA, and it's involved in coding, decoding, and regulation. And once this enters the brain, it converts into uridine, which maintains neuron integrity. Then the choline, of course, is going to be synthesized into acetylcholine, increasing neuron signaling, alertness, clarity, memory, and development for new brain cells, just like alpha GPC does. Then moving on, we have an extra at 150 milligrams. This is a long hitter. This is like 5-6 hours of hitting. And this targets the cognitive process known as the attention network function, which is the brain's ability to devote itself to specific tasks. So it enhances the mental alertness and the focus and reaction time, and helps with the neurotransmitters dopamine and acetylcholine. Fabulous ingredient. It's a long hitter, and I'll let you guys know how this thing delivers. Then we have Advantage Z at 150 milligrams. This is an orange extract, and this has P-synephrine in it. So not just P-synephrine. So this is an interesting ingredient. This is an ingredient that will make you sweat. And it does. I'm letting you guys know now. You will start sweating and you will start dripping. Now what this does is this has naringin, hesperidin, and P-synephrine in it. And the P-synephrine and hesperidin have been shown to work synergistically with naringin to boost the basal metabolic rate in the body. Try not to stumble here. There's a lot of information. The naringin helps burn fat by stimulating the production of the fat-burning hormone adiponectin. And this hormone here helps regulate the breakdown of fat cells, similar to L-carnitine in the body. And then we got P-synephrine, which is a thermogenic that's been shown to increase energy expenditure, metabolic rate, and decrease appetite. This is a beta-3 receptor agonist. And what this does is this is responsible for lipolytic fat burning and thermogenic temperature raising within the body. And being a beta-3 agonist, it also increases adrenaline and noradrenaline, which then releases and jumpstarts lipolysis, which is the breakdown of fatty acids for energy. It also helps with the delivery and removal of excess glucose from the blood and transfers it into the muscle tissue. Fabulous ingredient. Now, the hesperidin on its own, when it's not synergized with both of these, is basically an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antiviral. So it doesn't do much on its own, but it's supposed to be a synergistic effect with this in this Advantage Z. So INPRE Max, how did it do? So you first take the scoop. No beta-alanine in this thing. Don't need it. I have some on the shelf. I threw it in with my EAAs during training just to keep myself saturated. So this comes in. This comes in rapidly. It comes in, you wake in about less than 15 minutes. It hits you. Now, the cognitive function isn't really recognized. The energy is recognized at that point. It's a kind of like a little, take your breath away a little bit. That 50 milligrams just pops in, and you just kind of wake up a little bit. Nothing crazy. So don't get me wrong. The focus starts to become more predominant after like 10 minutes after. You just start to kind of dial in. Your attention starts to become very, very straightforward and very strict. This actually enhances the flow state and a very dialed in, almost tunnel vision type effect as it's climbing. Now, the energy on this thing, what you're going to notice, you want to get in the gym as quick as possible. This is definitely a pre that you can take on your way to the gym because it's going to start acting in 15 minutes. And it pretty much just peaks as far as energy-wise. It's a slow climb up until about, I'd say, 45 minutes, and that's pretty much the energy you're left with. So the energy's there, boom, 300 milligrams of caffeine with a little physical hit behind it. Nice. That energy will last for an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on your stim tolerance, and it pretty much just dials away because what you're left with is that an extra hit along with some of these other functions. So the cognitive function, when it peaks, it doesn't peak at that 45 minutes. So if you're deciding to take this, be aware that that's not it. This thing peaks in about an hour, and when it comes in, it is this task-driven focus that's tunnel vision, and you will just be dialed into what the hell you need to do, and it carries on through the day. So that hit is almost a nootropic bubble for me. So if you get on the elliptical, you put music on when you're training, you will be dialed in to everything, but not hazy, kind of like stim junkie. It's very clear-headed and very focused. Mind is firing. It's working. It's just devoted. It makes you devoted to what you are doing. If you get on the treadmill and you're doing some steady-state cardio like I did today, you'll be in the music, you'll be dialed in, and you will feel like you're in a tunnel vision state because you're just looking straight ahead. Music is there, and that's where the hell you're going to live for the next 2 to 3 hours. So this does start dialing down after about 2.5 hours by a bit. And then I'd say it'll last 4 hours before you really notice another change, but it's not crazy to where you can't go off and function through your day. This lasts for a good total of 6 to 7 hours with that attention that's there and that drive and that task-driven focus of getting stuff done. And you will be your mind will be set on completing tasks, whether it's your work day, whether it's your work, whether you're writing, whether you're studying. There's nothing crazy in the head. It's not too insane. It's kind of an alpha brainwave hit with a beta brainwave backbone. So it's not all alpha brainwave like a L-theanine hit. It's just a very dialed back, nice processing, nothing crazy. You can think straight, you can talk straight. Now the mood on this thing, the mood you get at 15 minutes to about 20 minutes, you get an elevated mood on this. And it peaks to a feel-good mood, I'd say about 45 minutes. And you carry that feel-good mood through the whole workout. Like you have this reward-driven, task-driven type mentality to where you're enjoying things. This is not a social pre, in my opinion. This is how it hits me. I'm just delivering the information. This is not to be hanging out and talking with your buddies, because you take this, more than likely you're going to be so dialed into your task that you're not going to want to talk to anybody. You're just so focused to get things done. Like I like to say, get shit done. It's a very, very good designed pre-workout for something that's not a stim junkie pre. Now, who is this for? This is for the serious lifters, in my opinion, or those that want to be serious, that don't want to go to the gym and talk, don't want to do anything other than get your tasks done for the day, because it does hang with you. And that task-driven focus, I'm letting you know now, is a long hit. And even though when it dials off, it's almost like you're left with this task-driven, motivated brain function throughout the day. Last night, it was 9 o'clock. I trained in the morning, and I got on a computer, and I was like just dialed in still, like almost like switch to switch that kind of lasted all day, but didn't affect my sleep or nothing like that. Just really laid back, real dialed in. Now, the pumps on this thing, the pumps are tight. You get some nice tight pumps with some veininess to it. Now, it's not extreme veininess. I didn't get extreme veininess, but I did get some veininess to it. So very good delivery there. It's not a self-swelling type thing. You'll feel the tightness for a while because that nitrosogen, that pine bark extract, they actually really go good together as far as for tight blood flow and tight pumps. So I hope this review is good for you guys. I didn't bounce around. I'm really still riding this now. I'm about 5.5 hours in. So when I was talking, I'm looking at the clock here. Oh, I got to cut this video. It says 27 minutes, but I did a lot of takes on this sucker. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Once again, INPRE Max by Impel Nutrition. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'm going to get on with my day, and we'll see you guys next time on the channel.